Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to this week's edition of Pep Talks with Megan De La Concha. Welcome, everybody. I am so excited that you are here, whether you have been a true soldier and listening to these episodes religiously every Monday morning, or whether you're tuning in for the first time. I welcome you with open arms and an open heart, and I am so excited to be here. So stick with me. And I hope that today's episode really blesses somebody. I say that about every episode. But that's because we talk about so many different and amazing things that it can all touch us at really different points in our lives. You know, maybe what I talk about today is something that's not really resonating with you, but it might resonate with you a few weeks from now, a few months from now. You never know. So I truly am passionate about all these amazing topics that we speak about on this podcast. And I actually urge that you join in the conversation with me. If you are watching on YouTube, please drop in the comments and the chat of, if there was something that really touched your heart, or if you have any more questions, or if there's topics that you just want to open up the conversation about, please let me know. If you are listening to this on your favorite listening platform, whether that be Spotify, Apple, Google Play. I think it's Google Play now, or maybe it's Google Podcasts. I'm not sure. Either one, I believe you can always leave a comment on there. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so that you do not miss out on any episode that comes your way, whether you choose to listen to it right then and there, or whether you choose to save it. At least it comes up on your phone and reminds you that there's an amazing pep talk waiting for you to listen. So let's begin, shall we? Last week, we talked about how to build resilience and how to build resilience that will allow you to really weather any storm. And those are things that we do every day. The habits that we have in our life, I can't stress this enough. If you haven't, gathered this by now, because I think the last 4 episodes have been about habits, but the things that you do every single day is going to determine your future. It's going to determine whether you move forward every day to the life that you want and the life that you deserve, or if it keeps you stuck in the life that you have. And it goes back to all we have is today. We don't know if we have tomorrow. And I know this might sound so cliche, but it's the God's honest truth. There's no denying. Nobody can tell you 100% for sure that we have tomorrow, that we have the next hour. All we have is right now. So the things that we practice right now are the things that are going to help us when the blessing of tomorrow comes, when the blessing of months, when the blessing of 2021 comes. And I know we are all very anxiously awaiting just to get out of 2020. We just don't even want to say the date anymore. We don't want to write the date anymore. We don't want to refer anything to 2020. We want 2021, and it is on the horizon. We have a new president in office. And, hopefully I'm praying that amazing changes are coming just as fast as the devastating changes that 2020 brought. With God, there is no limitation. So I'm hoping that this is a year of healing, of strength, and of just new empowerment in each of our lives. And but I know one of the major keywords of this past year, and we have 30 days left, you guys. So we're not done yet. So do not lay down. Keep moving. Keep it going, stronger than ever. Let's finish 2020 strong in our own personal lives, shall we? So the key word of this past year, one of the key words, has been resilience. And I believe so many of us have tapped into how we handle burnout, because a lot of us, if not all of us, are burnt out. And that is, to put it nicely. But while we're burnt out, the sun keeps rising and it keeps setting. So we have to keep moving in our lives. We have to keep taking care of ourselves. We have to keep showing up for work. We have to keep showing up for our partners. We have to keep showing up and taking care of our kids. We have to go grocery shopping. We have to go outside. We have to find new adjustments, literally what seems like every single day. And our resilience is so needed, and it's being built whether you are intentionally building it or not. So, with that being said, I want to teach you guys the tools on how to intentionally build your resilience in a strong and healthy way. So, last week we spoke about the daily things that you can do to shift your mindset and build your resilience so that when these huge, huge losses and devastations and disappointments come in your life, you are able to properly heal from them, and you are able to grow from them, and you are able to use these situations for your power, for your empowerment, and you can allow these things to propel you into being the person that you want to be and withstand whatever storm comes your way. Because life is not absent of struggles and storms and hardships and losses. It is not, the goal is not to be void of all of those things, because that's just unrealistic. But the goal is to be able to have a strong mentality, to have a strong mindset, to be physically strong and emotionally intelligent enough that we can handle whatever comes our way, no matter how uncomfortable we are, no matter how devastated, how sad, how angry, how frustrated, how confused we are. That deep down, our foundation is not shaken, nor will ever be shaken, because of our resilience. So, the topic of resilience and what I want to cover today is what resilience really is. And it's not a word that we use often. We like to replace the word with my bounce back. How fast can I bounce back from a situation? And I think a lot of when we use that term, the narrative that comes behind that, the narrative that follows that term, what it looks like to us is put a smile on your face, wipe those tears, girl, let's get moving. But what happens in that statement, we don't address compassion or kindness or the fact that, you know what, somebody is feeling something very real, and we need to give them the permission, and we need to let them know that it's safe and it's okay to feel this type of way, to actually feel the situation, because we're human. We're human. And we have all of these emotions, and not one is better or stronger or more important than the other. They are all on the same scale. There's just emotions that we like to feel and emotions and feelings that we don't like to feel. But the fact is that it is necessary to feel them all and to create space for all of our emotions and all of our feelings, because that is how we experience a human experience. That is how we acknowledge that we're human. That is what allows us to dive deep and just take the time to discover our situation, to be curious about what it is we're going through, so that we can find the good things about it, the silver lining. Even when it seems like there is nothing good about the situation, there will be. There most definitely will be, and you will find it. So when we have these conversations about resilience, about our bounce back, we need to take a step back and understand that when we were younger, a lot of us experienced childhood trauma. And childhood trauma does not have to be this crazy story or horrible story. It could be, your best friend moved away when you were in second grade. I think I've said that before. But if you ask any psychologist, that can be a very traumatic experience for somebody who maybe kind of found their identity in that friendship. As children, as young adults, socializing, it's so important because it does help us find our identity. But until we find it, we put identity or our identity into other people, into other things. And that allows we're a collection of experiences. Our life is a whole collection, who we are, what we believe, how we act. It is all just a collection of experiences in our lives, traumas included. And at a young age, a lot of us culturally are taught that you don't share things outside of the home. You don't share your house business. And to some extent, I 100% agree with that. But there's other things that are like, this should be kept private. Nobody needs to know about this. Dry your tears, chin up, put your best shoes on, put your lipstick on, run a brush through your hair, and walk out that door like nothing's happened. And so what happens is, we're expected to handle it. That's called handle it, right? Handle it, girl. Get a grip, handle it, let's go. So we push everything down and we slap a smile on our face while inside we are just dying. We are just dying because we're suffering in silence. We're suffering a loss. We're suffering a hardship. We're suffering a struggle alone. And what we don't realize is that actually creates depression. And it actually creates anxiety, and it creates so many other little things that manifest in our bodies that when we are older, it seeps out into our relationships. It seeps out into our trust factor of people. It seeps out into our ability to have deep, meaningful relationships, to be able to connect with other people, to be able to support ourselves in the times that we need support and support our friends. Y'all have that one friend where it's like, you can't even really tell them anything mushy or wishy-washy, and we put those labels on that, or we can't be sensitive around because they look at us all crazy, right? So in a sense, we don't trust that person with things that we're going through because we know like they won't get it. She's hard, she's a badass. She gets over things real quickly. She'll look at you and be like, pick up your feelings and let's move it on. Like, what are you crying for? So it's all kind of in a negative light. So because of these ways when we're children, we're expected to handle something. We don't know how the hell to handle anything. All we are as children are emotions and we're feelings. And we don't know. We are trying to sift through these feelings and these emotions through our experiences. We don't know how to handle anything. So as we get older, when we experience traumatic situations in our life, big or small, we react to them the same way we did as when we were children. And we resist and we push down feelings and we don't cry because what happens is when we decide, or when our body, when our being tries to feel the experience that we're having, we're immediately like, don't cry, because crying is accepting defeat. Crying is, or being sad about something or expressing, an emotion is showing weakness. It means you're cracking. It means you're soft. It means you're crumbling. No, 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 no. It does not mean any of that. When you feel you have to hold your feelings inside, when you have to hold your emotions, when you don't allow yourself to have a basic human experience, that creates weakness. That creates cracks in the foundation. So when something huge happens, or just over time, you are going to crumble. And you're not going to know how to pick yourself back up because you've never allowed yourself to experience a loss, a trauma. You've never allowed yourself to express how you feel in the struggle. So by changing around that narrative and actually allowing yourself to experience what it is you need to experience, then you can let it go. Then you can actually air it out, air the emotions out, air the feelings out, and you can let it go and you can move on from sorrow and despair instead of letting it manifest and harden in you, and where it turns to anger, where it turns to bitterness, where it turns to frustration. And then we wonder why we can't hold down a good job. Then we wonder why we can't handle stress. We wonder why we can go along our day months, years just fine. But the minute one thing goes wrong, your whole house of cards crumbles because your resilience, which is pretty much non-existent, is built on sand. Because you did not allow yourself to actually feel and experience what you were going through. You didn't surrender to just life. Allowing yourself to feel and allowing yourself to surrender to these life situations does not mean that you're weak. As a matter of fact, it makes you strong. By recognizing, I'm pissed, I'm sad, I'm angry, I need to release my emotions. I don't know about you, but for me, releasing anxiety, releasing any type of pent up emotion is crying. That whether I'm happy, whether I'm sad, it's the same response. And God bless my husband, because he probably used to think I was just sad all the time. And I had to explain to him, no, this is just my release. This is how I just feel things intensely, whether it's good, whether it's bad. I cry. It's my release. That allows me to surrender to the experience I'm having and be able to let go and move forward. And when you're able to let go and move forward, you crack that shell. And that's when the light beams start to come in. And that's when you see the silver lining. For everyone who's like, nothing freaking good came out of that situation, it's because you have not allowed yourself to fully feel everything you needed to feel in that situation. You have kept this hardened shell. It is not cracked. So therefore, no light is able to come in. You are not able to see the good, to see the blessing that came out of that. Or if we think that, oh my God, if I find a blessing in it, if I find gratitude in a situation, it must mean I wanted this to happen or I'm happy that it happened. No, we're able to have feelings on a parallel level. It does not have to be one straight line on a graph. It does not have to be, it's either this, this, or this. It can be, it's this and this and this. We are able to have separate parallel lines of feeling. You can feel sorrow and despair and sadness and still feel joy and peace and happiness. That is allowed. Did you guys hear me? That's allowed. That is allowed. That is a human experience. And that is what propels you into growth. That's how you take your pain and you turn it into power. You turn it into empowerment. And I'm not saying it happens in the hour. I'm not saying it happens in a day. Yes, you need time for healing, regardless of how you heal, what you need to do to heal in a healthy way. Take the time that you need to rest, honor yourself, honor the situation by feeling what it is you want to feel. So those of you who know and those of you who don't, and this is why I'm sharing, I shared a post, at the time that this podcast is being recorded, it was a few days ago, and it was about me suffering a miscarriage, and I was in the middle of it. The reason for that post, the intention of that post was not for sympathy. It was not for a look at me, look what I'm going through. My husband and I appreciate immensely all of the love and the comfort and the support that we have received. However, the intention of that post was to express that you have to allow yourself to experience this. So people were asking, oh my gosh, how are you? How are you? Which is totally natural questions. And then when I would talk to them, it was like, wow, how can you be so happy? You sound really good. You're beaming. You are full of light. How are you like this in the middle of this devastating loss? Well, the fact is that it wasn't always that way. This situation that I'm going through right now, the person I am today is completely different from the person who would have handled it 6 months ago. It would have shattered me. It would have taken me down. I would have been lying in bed, only being able to wallow in my despair and in my sorrow and my sadness and my tears, and just sitting in that fishbowl of those emotions. And I would have asked my husband to have taken off of work. I would have asked him to bring the kids to my in-laws, because I was just incapable of being there for them. I was so emotionally unstable, incapable. My anxiety would have taken over. My depression would have taken over. And from someone I deal with anxiety and depression, I can say that. But as I built my resilience and as I built my faith in the Lord and fully living and walking in God's glory and God's faith and authentically putting all of my trust in Him, my husband and I were able to bounce back, as you would say. We were able to have a really strong resilience in this situation. So what we did was we allowed ourselves, we cried together, we cried separately. If a wave came over me and I got really sad and cried, I cried. I cried in front of my kids. I told them and I reassured them that everything was fine and that this is what adults go through, because my kids need to see my husband and I express emotion to a situation, whether they know the situation or not. They need to see that I am crying. It's okay to feel that way. And I'm also, the next day, the next hour, I'm fine and I'm happy, and mom has not changed. It's healthy. It's a process. It's okay. So my husband and I, we experienced what we needed to experience in this tragedy, in this loss. We experienced it together, and we definitely experienced it individually because we are individuals. We got what we needed to get, and because of that, we were able to let go. And because we were able to let go, we were able to crack that shell where, yeah, we were angry. Yeah, we were confused. Yes, we were very sad. We were frustrated. We were so disappointed. And I told God all of that. I said, this is what I'm feeling. I am sad. I'm angry. I'm confused. I am disappointed. All of those things I just said. But I'm also at peace because I trust that this is part of a bigger plan. And whether or not I know the reason for that plan, that's okay. That's my answer. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not knowing. I don't have to know everything in my life. But I know that someone is going to be blessed by that. It happened for a reason. So I'm at peace with that. And you know what I found? My marriage got stronger that day. I found a deeper love that I didn't think I could love my husband any deeper, but I did. I found a deeper love and a deeper appreciation for that man, just who he is as a man, because of the love and the support he gave me, which, I I just have such an amazing appreciation for him. I appreciate my kids more. I have a renewed gratitude for my children, and I realize more and more what a blessing that they are here on this earth, and they are healthy and they're thriving, they're happy and they're intelligent. And I had a new profound respect and a deeper love for myself that just becomes more and more unbreakable. I honored my body for being able to recognize that something wasn't right. And it automatically, without me even knowing, it started the process of healing itself. I respect my body for that. So I took the time to rest. I stayed in my PJs. I watched Netflix. I laid on the couch. I ate healthy. I moved slightly. I prayed to the Lord God. I cried. I laughed. I shared the news. I found comfort in family. I did what I needed to do to experience what I was going through, and that allowed me to let go, and that allowed the shell to crack. I'm not bitter. I'm not anxious. I'm not mad. I don't even look at other people who just found out they're pregnant or just had a baby or are in the middle of their pregnancy. I find happiness for them because what a blessing that is. What a blessing that is for them. What an experience they're having. I would never want anyone to experience anything like that, though we are going to. And that's another reason for that post. I needed to help do my part to normalize this conversation. And it's not just about miscarriages. The conversation is about we're all going to face shit. We're all going to face things that stress us the hell out. We are all going to face things where we are on our knees and we cry, why? Why me? And it's okay to say that. It's okay to say to God, I am hurting. I am in freaking pain, mentally, emotionally, physically, pain and anguish. Take it from me and allow yourself to feel that. Allow yourself to experience that emotion, because that moment right there, that's what builds your resilience. Because then you can move from that place. You can move forward from that place. And then when you look back, you say, my God, I am so freaking blessed. I am so utterly thankful and grateful for the life that I have. And I am going to take this situation and I am going to use it, not against me, for me. This is just one more thing I can add to my life's resume. And then the next time something happens, because it will, you will take the same approach. And it might be a shorter healing process. It might be a much longer healing process. You might experience things on a deeper level. It might be more magnified. It might not, but your resilience grows. We have to change the narrative that it is okay. We must feel and allow us to feel what we are going through. It is the only way to get through it. You cannot go around it. You cannot go under it. You cannot go over it. We have to go through it. That's why it's called getting through it. And in order to get through it, we've got to look at exactly what we're facing right then and there, because it's real. The situation is real. It's not fake. So why are we trying to fake the emotions that come with the situation? Here's the situation, acknowledged. Here's what I'm feeling, acknowledged. And here's my healing. Here are the blessings. Here is the gratitude. Here is the breakthrough. Here is how I grow as a person. Here is how I become strong and mighty and resilient and confident. And here is the transformation. I can't express enough to you. My healing and my faith deepened. My courage is stronger. My boldness is brighter. And I wasn't that person. I wasn't hardly this person. I was really good with dealing with the good days. I was really bad with dealing with the bad days. But not anymore. This time it's different. Because of the self-awareness, because of the things that I do every single day to establish my healthy habits, my habits that support my life, my confidence, my resilience, so that I am able to continue to transform my life every single day. Every single day, I get closer and closer to the life of my dreams. Every single day, a piece of that dream is forming into a reality. That is it for today. I hope this episode blesses you. If you're not following me already, please do on social media. All my handles are below. Instagram is at Megan De La Concha. Facebook is Megan De La Concha. Visit my website, megandelaconcha.com. I have so many exciting new things that I am launching in January, including a private coaching business with me. So yes, you and me can work one-on-one for 4 months, or you can join your peers and we can do a group coaching. All the information is coming. That's why you need to follow me so you stay up to date, and you'll join my email list so you will be the first to know when all of this comes out, because you will be the one, if you're on my email list, to be able to sign up first. So many amazing things happening. I hope you all have a wonderful, empowering week. Stay strong, stay confident, stay empowered, my friends.